My name is Sister Beatrice Mwansa. I belong to the congregation of the Daughters of the Redeemer. When I was growing up, I didn't think so much that I would become a sister until when I was in grade 11, I joined the vocation club at Roma Parish, and that's when like the thoughts of becoming a sister came back again. The first sisters that I met, of course, were from another congregation. They are the ones who taught me my catechism, but I didn't tell them that I wanted to join them until I met one sister, a daughter of the Redeemer, Sister Rosaria Banda. She's now late. She came to teach at our school when I was in primary school, and that's how we just loved her when we saw her, and we used to escort her to her home. But even then, I didn't think of seriously about becoming a sister. But when I joined the vocation club, I heard that the Daughters of the Redeemer had a retreat for the young girls from one of my friends at Kablonga Girls. That's how I followed them at their house in Olympia, and then they told me about the retreat, and I went for this retreat. While at the retreat, I met many other girls, and I saw how they were very happy and very enthusiastic to take up the steps of becoming sisters. I said, maybe it's worth trying, let me try. So when they asked me if I wanted to become an aspirant, I accepted. I became an aspirant. That was in 1991. The following year, the retreat was on again, and I was in grade 12. So I went for the retreat, and then other girls now were also even taking other steps. They were becoming postulants. I can also become one. So that's how they asked me, and I accepted, and I became a postulant. Now I said, these decisions which I'm making, I need to communicate to my family. And that's how I told my parents that I wanted to become a sister. So I said, okay, you go and try, but if you fail, then you can come back and I will accept you. So when I completed school in 1992, the following year I joined the sisters. What really motivated me in my formation was that was the charism of the Daughters of the Redeemer. To serve wholeheartedly, intimately, to become intimately, devoted to Jesus Christ the Redeemer and His way of life. And I related this with the desire within me to be of service to others. The desire that I had when I was a little child of wanting to be at the service of others, to help others. And I think this is what made me to go on. I said, this is the life that I want. If I have to follow Jesus the Redeemer, then really I have to follow into His footsteps of self-sacrifice, of wanting to give life to others. And that's how I made my first profession in 1995. And here I am now. I've celebrated 25 years as a sister, and I'm still going on. Every training actually has got its own challenges, its own ups and downs. But usually these challenges are foundation stones, for you to build and become strong. So in my religious life, yes, there could have been points when maybe I could have looked back and said, is the life really worth living? And especially the challenges for me came when we had a lot of deaths in my family. We lost 4 of my one brother and 3 sisters in my family, and I think it was a very, very, very big loss for me and a very big gap. I would always think of my parents. I say, now these 4 were working and they were supporting my parents, and now they are not there. And then who is going now to help my parents? So those were times when I would feel like, I think let me go back home and help my parents. But my parents were very encouraging. I don't know, it's like maybe they read my mind. Each time I visited them, they would say, don't think of us. God has been taking care of us before you were born. He has been taking good care of us. So just focus on your life as a sister and continue serving God's people. God will bless you in your own way. Now, looking at the, 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 the achievements or the fulfillment or the contentment of my religious life, I think for me, the fact that I made a decision when I was 18, a very big decision to become a religious, and I think for me this has been one of the biggest achievements that I've ever, gained in my life. When I joined the Daughters of the Redeemer, when I completed school, I was also accepted to go to the University of Zambia in 1993. But I had no interest at all. And I told my parents that I want to become a sister. I'll go for my studies when I complete my religious life. And our superior then was also teaching at the university. So she applied for me that my studies can be deferred for 2 years. So instead of going in 1993 to the university, I went there in 1996 when I completed. And then since we had two of our sisters who had done mass communication and I was in the School of Humanities, I felt that I should do mass communication. And that's how I did mass communication, my first degree from 96 to 2001, my bachelor's degree in mass communication. When I completed, I was lucky that we had the first radio station, Catholic radio station, was opened by then. And so I went to work at the radio station as head of programs. And this was the foundation of my professional way. Because there at the station, I learned a lot of things also. How to interact with people of different walks of life. Different people would come to the radio doing different programs. I was in charge of all these programs, listening to them, supervising the volunteers. All that was being produced, I was in charge of all that. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work because also it challenged me to balance my work and my prayer life as a religious, because I was working like 24/7, and I needed to find time also to be at home and to pray. And but I enjoyed my work so much, and because every time I was moved, into social justice programs, into religious programs, and this also helped me to build on my on my religious life and my religious values and virtues. And after that, I was assigned to go and do some community service for 1 year, and then I came back again. When I came back, I felt that I needed to further my studies. I did my master's degree in communication for development. Again, I did MCD because I wanted just to be a professional. I didn't think so much about teaching. So I just wanted to continue what I was doing at the radio, to be professional and interact with community, and if those programs can be turned into action-oriented programs, that would make me very, very happy. So when I finished my MCD, and fortunately or unfortunately, I found myself teaching. So I found myself teaching at Zamcom, and I was there for some time as a part-time lecturer. Then I felt, let me do teaching methodology. Maybe I can do well in teaching. That's how I did the teaching methodology. And then after that, I continued also, lecturing. This year also, I decided that since I've been teaching for over 14 years, let me also strengthen the research part and also the academic part. So I moved. I'm studying now the academic a master's degree in mass communication. That's what I'm doing. At the moment, I'm doing my research, and my research is on print media coverage of 2021 general elections. During 2021 general elections, I, I was involved in the training of journalists and how journalists can become ethical when reporting elections, and how ethical reporting actually is achievable. And also because this also speaks to my life. You know, when you are talking about journalism, it has got a lot of Christian Judeo ethics of honesty, of truthfulness. You know, truth is sacred. You don't tamper with the truth. Of objectivity, of accuracy. So I want to assess how objective was the media during the 2021 general elections, especially when it came to conflict reporting and elections. Because I've seen also that in our country, you know, sometimes the media can be a source of conflict, especially if you let the media loose, especially if they become unethical. So the media can actually escalate conflict, which can start slowly, but it can lead to war journalism if you are not careful. But the media also can de-escalate conflict, and this can lead to peace journalism. And I feel that as a country, we need to move towards peace journalism as much as possible. We've been known to be a peaceful country, and this has helped our democracy and has strengthened our democracy. So the media need to be strengthened in that area, and that's why I'm doing this research in conflict reporting and peace journalism. Here in Zambia, we've seen that most sisters, actually religious sisters, are into traditional professions such as nursing, teaching, and social work, and so on. And very, very few sisters are into communication. But looking at the world as it is now, we can all agree that we are in the digital era. We are in the technological era. And communication is at the heart of all this. And hence, the church has embraced, even the new media now as a means of evangelization. One thing that also makes me happy that I'm in the media is that it gives me an opportunity to evangelize. Even when I'm teaching, at whatever level that I'm teaching, always for me, I always bring in, my faith, my belief, into reality. And I always mainstream and talk about these issues, especially when I'm talking about journalism ethics and journalism principles. I always relate them to the Christian values. I would be very, very happy to see the sisters come on board and embrace the new media as a means of evangelization. If at all we can, use this new means, new media to spread the message of Christ, to spread the gospel, to spread our charism, all the good things that are happening, which the sisters are doing, that would really be a good thing. I would like to thank Hilton Foundation for sponsoring the communication network for Catholic sisters in Zambia, because this network is aimed at appreciating and elevating and demonstrating or showcasing the good things that the sisters are doing in Zambia. The sisters are known to be very humble people. They are, for me, the unsung heroes. Most of the times they do good things, nobody talks about them. But now, through this network, I think the world will come to see that, yes, we can have people who can, serve the Lord in all honesty, intimately, without asking for any reward, and doing it out of love, through following Christ. So I'm really happy that the sisters' works are going to be, shown or demonstrated through the network. And I'd like to ask the sisters to support the network in whatever that they are doing. Let them not keep it to themselves. It is not for them. All the gifts that the sisters have been given, they are gifts to edify the world. to show the world that actually there's more good in the world than we think. So let them support the network through their programs, through their stories, and through whichever way that they can support the network. I think this is a project that will really, really, go a long way, even in evangelizing to many people who may not even be Christians, on what the Catholic sisters do in this world and how they are a force to reckon with in terms of doing or spreading Christ's good message.